All right, welcome to Ethos of a Warrior, presented by the Warrior Leader Academy. Today, I am joined by Paige McHenry. She is the Associate Director of Mind and Body with the Warrior Leader Academy. Paige, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about myself. I'm trained as an athletic trainer. So my background is in musculoskeletal injury, being able to evaluate, diagnose, and provide guidance on how to correct that injury or refer to appropriate professionals if needed. So that's my background as a bachelor's degree. In my master's, I focused more on biomechanics, which is more human movement, which I did at Auburn University. I focused a lot more on neuromechanics, which is more of that brain body, how the brain connects to the body for movement. So in doing that and in having that education, I was able to become more aware. Say the body is injured and we're not having that normal pattern of movement, there's a brain body miscommunication. And having that and being able to rehab that brain-body miscommunication still lingers even if the tissue has healed. So then how do we continue to heal even if physically we're healed? We can still experience that chronic pain and over time. So in joining Warrior Leader, I'm in the mind-body facet of Warrior Leader. I work with Dr. Morigello in that segment, and we kind of work with being able to connect that mind-body and allowing your healing to continue for years to come.
So we talk mind, body. So what do you think is the coolest thing that you've seen with someone helping someone that's had that disconnect between mind and body?
So great question. For example, say someone has had chronic pain due to a past injury. They've had surgeries. It's been repaired. They've gone through all of their rehab and everything, but they still have pain. They still have some motor deficits. When you ask them, they're sitting in front of you and you say, okay, close your eyes and think about that injury. And you can see that they get tense and they get an increase in heart rate or they start shallow breathing. You can see that injury that is, quote, healed still affects them and still affects their mind. And that disconnect in their mind can continue to have effects on them physically. So it's really interesting.
I threw my back out probably 7 years ago and it goes out every once in a while. So what would you do if it's physically fine, but kind of mentally there's kind of a block? How could you help me get over my back pain?
Well, number one, you have to be ready to get over your back pain. And that's the main thing. You have to come into it wanting to get better. A lot of people hold on to their injuries for a very long time. So you have to come wanting to be ready to get better. And in our mind-body segment of Warrior Leader, we do have things that can help you become more in tune with yourself so that you are more prepared to get better. One of the things that we'll have available as our free introduction will be just becoming more in tune with your body through just more mindfulness and being able to have sensory feedback of, say, I'm going on a walk and I'm just feeling the wind in my hair, essentially, or being able to drink a cup of coffee and be in tune with the smell and the warmth of the mug in your hand, stuff like that, just creates more in tuneness with your body. And then you getting better with, this is how things feel. Now you can come into your healing and be able to get better. So for example, with your back pain, once you're ready and you're like, I'm ready to get my back pain better. Tentatively, it's bulletproof back. What's the main issue people have? The number one complaint is back pain. So having that corrective exercise paired with, mindfulness and breathing techniques, being able to have that emotional regulation so that you can, physically get better.
You mentioned breathing techniques. What sorts of breathing techniques can I use to kind of become more mindful?
So a lot of the times when we're talking about mindfulness or meditation, we suggest that you sit there with yourself and just focus on your breathing. The main thing is being able to focus on your breath and just kind of be aware of, is it slow? Is it fast? How do I feel when I slow it down and concentrate on it more? Does that make me feel better? Or does that make me feel worse? The main thing at the beginning with breathing techniques is just becoming aware of your breath and then progressing through that, kind of like breathing in through your nose and breathing out like pain and chronic trauma.
As we're kind of working through our pain and trauma, what are some other good techniques other than just kind of breathing? What are some things that you might suggest a client to do on their free time?
With trauma, a lot of the times with emotional regulation in our brain, our rational brain and our emotional brain don't really communicate. So when we have trauma, whether it's physical or emotional, that's usually why we have those emotional reactions. Or if I have someone think about their pain, even if the tissue has healed, why they seem to have emotional reactions. So they may cry, or their breathing may become disconnected.
Other than breathing, what other things can I do kind of throughout my day to help me?
Becoming aware of how your emotions are when you are either doing your normal workout or you're just going throughout your activities of daily living. You're just becoming more aware of how your body feels will in turn be able to help you heal. Okay.
What if you're so in tune to just shutting your emotions off? How can someone like that be more in tune? Because the only emotion I feel is happiness. So how can I start kind of peeling back that onion and getting in touch with those deep-seated emotions that I probably should be in touch with daily?
Exactly. And that's the trauma response, especially with veterans or even just people who have experienced general physical or emotional trauma. It's easier to shut that pathway off and just not feel. So that's why we have an opioid crisis. We have people that just take medications to numb their pain, when in reality, that's just a Band-Aid, right? Once you take away that medication, you're still going to have your pain. And there have been plenty of studies that have proven that just being able to move your body will have more effects on your mental well-being. So when we're talking about shutting off those emotions, I mean, the main thing is just you have to sit there and be aware of how you're feeling. And a lot of people don't want to do that, but that also comes with being ready. I can't make you ready to want to heal. You have to do that on your own. That's why we have so many other segments of Warrior Leader. We have performance psychology, and even just like experiencing yoga and being mindful and just sitting in your awareness, that's going to help.
So taking some time to really just focus on your thoughts would be beneficial, you think?
Yeah, so sitting there thinking about being aware of how you feel when you're thinking about your trauma. You don't have to figure it out right then and there, but just being aware of that feeling.
So as I'm working through my issues, I come to you. Is it a safe place? Like, are you going to tell other people, or does it stay between you and I?
No, there's confidentiality between us and our clients. We're not out here trying to have testimonials where we're like, John Borman says that he feels great because he had this, that, and the other. And I mean, of course, if someone wants to tell their own story, that's on them. That's not on me. But we're not out here trying to advertise using people's information.
So within the body, you said you're going to help do exercise for bulletproof backs. What would that look like? Is that something where I'm going to need all kinds of equipment? I'm going to need all kinds of stuff, go to the gym, or is that something I can do at my house?
Something that you can do at your house. As we're developing it and we're trying to make it as accessible as possible, you can definitely use things around your house. It's more just about, we'll compile breathing, mindfulness, and just your typical hip stability type exercises that can be done with very minimal equipment. So as I'm sure most people who have had back pain or any type of injury have experienced, you go to physical therapy and you do your exercises and you do it for however long, or you look stuff up on your own and it's all exercises. And then there's the other side of it where people are like, oh, you just have to be mindful about it and be aware of your pain and be aware of your trauma and just breathe light into it and stuff like that, which again, like there's nothing wrong with that, but we're just trying to mesh those two together to make it one big taking care of the whole person, because there's the mind body part of it.
I love that holistic concept, kind of bringing it together, connecting the mind and body. So Paige, in your daily life, how do you work on your mind and body connection?
So working on my mind body connection, it's always a learning process. Every day I feel like I'm becoming more in tune with my mind and my body. So just going throughout my day and just being present. That's the main thing, is you just have to be present in your day. So many of us just go through our day. We wake up, we eat our breakfast or not. We go to work and we do whatever it is that we do, and we're not present in it. It just becomes more robotic and more, this is what I do. And then we go home and that's it. So just being more present in your day, especially if you work directly with people like I do, being more present in those conversations, asking the correct questions, not anticipating answers to people's questions, but listening and responding to what they're saying to you verbally and non-verbally, because a lot of communication is non-verbal. So even if you don't work directly with people, just being able to be present and notice things in your day and respond.
So how do you focus? There's 1,000 things going on. You got parties, you got tasks, you got all these missions kind of bouncing through your head and all these distractions. So how do you narrow that focus?
A lot of it, and I've brought this more into my life, is the mindfulness piece. I don't meditate every day. I'm not going to sit here and say I wake up and meditate every day of my life, but I try to cut out time to meditate, whether it's before I start my day, before I get out of bed, or before I go to bed. You just need to find that thing for you that helps you hone into who you are. So it doesn't have to be meditation. Some people have their best thoughts in the shower. shower. So be present in your shower. Think about what your day is going to be or how your day was and reflect on it. Some people it's coffee or tea, like a hot beverage. So mine is coffee. It's a caffeine addiction, but it's also a major part of my days. I sit alone with my coffee. No one talks to me, and I just create my focus for the day.
So do you have a routine to end your day? Like before you get ready for bed, do you have something to help make sure that you hit the ground running the next day?
The main thing is my skincare routine. That's the thing I do for myself. Okay. So my morning is coffee. My night is taking care of my skin because our skin repairs itself as we're sleeping. That's when it's most open to repairing itself. So what are you going to do to, help it repair itself the most?
Maybe I need to up my skincare game.
Take care of our whole self. Our body repairs itself at night, not just our skin, our entire body. That's when we're most at rest.
If you look good, you take care of your face and it's not all broken out and you feel confident, is that going to help you as you're attacking things in your everyday life?
Exactly. So a lot of the times if you have a lot of stress in your life, not only could you be having the physical ailments of, joint pain or low back pain or whatever, but it could also be presenting on your skin as well.
If you're stressed out, people break out with acne. Sometimes people are stressed and they get the knots in their back or their sore. So that's kind of weird, right? How stress can manifest itself physically. What's your relationship with stress?
There are a lot of stressors in my life. I'm sure everyone has a lot of stressors in their life. Most people carry it in their shoulders. I like to carry it in my shoulders and on my skin. So again, stressing out more isn't going to make it better. And that's why you have to cut out the time to do what it is that makes you feel good to decrease that stress. Also, if you're going to bed stressed, you're not going to have restful sleep. Rest and sleep is a huge part of recovery as well. So find that thing that you need to do, regardless of if it takes 30 minutes or 10 minutes before you go to bed.
So stress in the shoulders. I know I carry mine. What is a good technique to help relieve all that tension in your shoulders?
The main thing is grab a foam roller. If you don't have one, they're super cheap on Amazon. Grab a foam roller, roll out lacrosse ball, tennis ball, put it in that neck upper trap area and just help release those knots. And again, with that, when you're doing foam rolling or like that trigger point with a lacrosse ball, you need to make sure you're breathing. So make sure that also ties into the breath work, because if you're tense while you're trying to relieve that tension, you're not doing anything.
That's a great point. When I'm trying to reach my toes, right, I'm struggling to get there. I'm really reaching for them. But you said that's not a good...
No, you shouldn't be struggling. You just need to meet yourself where you are, all facets of your life. So if it's trying to become more flexible or more mobile, you can't force it. You have to meet your body where it is and breathe through it. And eventually over time, it will get better. And a lot of people want that quick fix. They want to just like force it. And life is a whole lesson and you just need to be patient with yourself.
That makes sense. I love that. Meet yourself where you're at, right? Mm-hmm. Don't force it. Speaking of time, how long are your programs? Like, so say if I'm going to take like a mindfulness experience with Paige, like how long should I really expect to work with you to be able to see some benefits?
And that's all self-dependent. I can't give you a general time. So we'll have programs that are a week long or a few weeks long, and someone could see results in 7 days and someone may take a little bit more time. Again, it's all coming back to meeting yourself where you are. Be patient with yourself, because if you're trying to like force your recovery, that's not going to help you recover. So awesome. I can't really give a timeline for that.
Are you going to help work with me to plan, or do I just say, hey, fix my back, I'm broken, let's go?
Well, you can have a general goal and say that you just want to fix your back pain. Sure. Okay, well then what is your goal in fixing your back pain? Is there something that you can't do because of your back pain? And we can help like hone in on specific goals. We don't want to make them too specific because then they're unattainable in some aspects, but being able to direct, okay, in fixing your back pain, what will this be able to help you do in your everyday life? Whether that's like emotional or physical, like say you can't go run around with your kids because your back hurts. That's a big thing. And we can fix your back pain. And not only will that help you be able to go run around with your kids and do whatever it is that you want to do, but that also emotionally affects you too.
That's the piece that people forget, the effects of when you can't do something, right? When you have to avoid things, when you have to modify your daily living, what second, third order effects that can kind of have on you. How would you help someone who is afraid to really take that step and is afraid to tell somebody about their issue? What would you tell someone who's kind of on the fence or scared about going to see somebody about something?
Again, that all comes with when they're ready. So even if they're not ready to fully explain, hey, this is how I feel. Hopefully by doing more introductory stuff with us and being able to arrive where you are in your pain and in your trauma, hopefully over time, you'll be able to open up more. If you can't, then maybe I'm not the person that should be working with you. That's the relationship that can't be forced. So maybe that is when you are referred to either Dr. Morgello, our director of mind and body, or just another segment of Warrior Leader, because we have so many things that someone can go to and achieve relief and achieve healing, that maybe the mind body isn't for you at that time. And maybe you can circle back, but maybe there's something else you need to work on beforehand.
So say someone's going to work with you, right? Is it in person? How are we working together, Paige?
So as of right now, we are doing more just online programs that you'll be able to work through on your own. Of course, we're always available for questions. And if you needed to get on a Zoom meeting with us or something like that, over time, we'll be able to provide more services of online coaching, more one-on-one stuff. But as of right now, it's just going to be solely online programs.
So you're going to have a nice little program where I can kind of go through it and help myself become better. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, yeah. And like I said, we're always available to be able to provide answers to questions, or if you are looking for a little bit more, we're always available. So if you have more questions, let us know. We'll be able to help you.
So when can we get started?
Warrior Leader is launching on Veterans Day. So we will be able to have our initial programs up at that time. So you can just hit the ground running.
For those that are listening, you're going to be able to go to warrior-leader.com. There'll be links to Paige, Dr. Morgello. There'll be links to the Academy. That's where you'll be able to find all these amazing downloadable classes. So you'll be able to go through, explore. We'll have free offerings. We'll have some pay-as-you-go. We'll have subscription-based. Paige is definitely going to be able to help you take your healing to the next level. Right? Super excited to see how you are going to help our clients out. I can speak on behalf of the Mind Body because they have personally helped me become more in tune with my body and working through injuries. So I know it works because not only am I the founder of it, I'm also a client of their team. So awesome job. I love what you ladies are doing. Is there anything you want to add before we close it out?
We're really excited to be part of Warrior Leader. We're excited to see the journey it takes and how many lives we can touch.
Super excited. Can't wait for launch. Thank you, Paige, for taking time out of your day to join us. I'm excited to see how you help everybody else in Mind Body. And until next time, remember, folks, stay hungry, stay true.